Hey, you guys, how you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back to another session of Before You Say I Do. In the Before You Say I Do series. If you haven't subscribed, do so right now, y'all. This is some really good information, and we are so excited to share it with you. And we are here today. We are here today with our special guests. You know, we love them so much. We are here today with family, and they are David and Lydia. Welcome back, you guys. We have been enjoying your visits, and hopefully it will be more permanent. So today we are talking about a really exciting topic. Today are talking about, well, we're trying to answer the question, why should I say I do? Now people say I do for lots of different reasons. Let's hear their opinion or their views on why should people say I do. Let's hear from you guys. Let's start with you, Lydia.
Good night. David, whatever you'll be viewing this video. Um, well, I always like to personalize stuff. So a reason I would say, the main reason I would say I do is that I'm in love with someone. I found somebody that I can't live without. I believe that this is the person that I'm meant to be with. Maybe um, yeah, and I've also, let's say, reached the age of the stage, not the age, because sometimes some people mature at 25, some mature at 45. So you have reached the stage of maturity to get married, and I found someone who I'm in love with. So then, yeah, I would go ahead and get married.
All
Yes,
right.
David. Why would you
Good
say
night,
I do?
everyone. Yeah. Topic. I think I'd probably go back to the roots in that. Where did marriage come from? And then it would be clear that marriage came from God when He instituted it in Genesis. And and for me, really and truly, the reason why I would say I do is when I cannot say I don't. You see, if there's a possibility that I could say, you know what, well, maybe I might. I won't say I do. But then when there's no alternative, when there's no choice for me but to say I do, that is when I'm going to say I do. Because this person, there is a broad spectrum where you could watch at different aspects. But when that person ticks all the brackets, or the person is the ideal fit for you, this is when I will say I do. And one of the things also is that you must really have the connection with that person and with God. So then, because if it was designed by God, He must be in it so that it could work.
Very, very powerful, powerful points are coming from this couple right there. This is a power couple, you guys. So expect powerful points coming from them. So we spoke really. You guys brought some really great points about why I should say I do. But what about why I shouldn't say I do? Because you said, okay, if the person is the correct fit for me, if God is involved, all of the great stuff. Why shouldn't I say I do then? What are reasons? The reasons I shouldn't say I do. And we're
Well,
looking at
some
this from
persons,
sorry, so we're looking at this from the point that not just to say we shouldn't say I do for general reasons, but we want to make it a little bit more specific.
well, yeah, some people get married. Like as I said, like okay, my reason would be because I'm in love, and David said that, yeah, he said a whole set of stuff. So some people would want to get married for other reasons, except the love wouldn't even be in the equation. They would want to get married because everybody's doing it. They feel that they reach the age, they don't necessarily maybe caught someone specific, but they just feel they're at an age where they should be married. So they feel they will grab the first person, or they will look for somebody to get married. Some people get married to, sometimes they want to leave their parents' home. So they're looking to maybe emancipate themselves from the parents' home, and like let's, because some people feel when they're there they're not free to do what they want, so they would get married for that reason. Some would just get married for sometimes money. The person has money, the person has status. I will leave some for David.
Well, so for us to understand why we should not get married, what is the purpose for marriage in the first place? What's the reason? Why did God design it? And I believe it was for more, for him, his kingdom to have more, not just for the world to multiply, but for his kingdom and for his purpose to be established. So if you're not going into a marriage with this purpose in mind, with this intention to add more to his kingdom, to grow together, to form a bond, to become closer to him. If you're not going with this purpose in mind, it would be all in vain. Just today at work, the guys were discussing that what really is the difference between, a married people living together for a certain amount of time, or unmarried people living together for that same amount of time. And really and truly, the difference is God and being obedient to God. So whilst it would be, and also they do it for a purpose. They don't marry because they feel like there's less obligation to that person, or there's less, you don't have to, or it's not, but then they place also a higher significance or higher respect in the marriage world. They find like, well, when it's marriage, you've taken that person from their mother's home, and you decide, well, this is what we're going to do. That is what we're going to do. You have to stick to it. You have to stick to the plan. You have to stick to, one person you've decided that you will spend the rest of your life with. And so really and truly, the reason why is multiple, but then why not, there also are many reasons why you should not. But then go with the intention to multiply, to add to God's kingdom, and then you would find that these reasons would overshadow everything else.
Lovely. I really like the conversation. So I want to throw in some. I just want to be the devil's advocate for a little bit, or whatever they call it, and just say that, I mean, we're living in a modern world, right? So people marry for a lot of different reasons now. It's Some people would argue that marriage, in time past, in terms of getting married for love and for relationship, is something that's ancient and also traditional. Right now, there's marriage of convenience. People get married for the convenience of money, like we just said, and also perhaps to a certain status in a country, probably where they don't belong. People get married for several different reasons, and who are we now to say that these people's marriage is not sanctioned or is not right? What's your take on this?
It's an interesting flip on things, but then, so then with their own purpose, they've made what God has designed into something of their convenience. So then it should not be that way, because if you go in with your intentions, your own motive, sometimes the person not even on board with that motive, so it cannot be about you in a relationship, or it cannot be about the partner in the relationship going with their own plans, because the whole design and the whole structure is to increase for the kingdom of God. So then that's a whole corruption of the design or the plan of God. Therefore, people will always have selfish, they'll be selfish in that relationship. There will be discord. It will not work as you should, because it's you going for your own selfish and personal reasons, and this person is going in with their own personal reasons. So then how could you two work together if you don't agree? Or if, even if you have made an agreement, but then that's not the design. Okay, I'm driving a van. I say, okay, I want to, make this van go underwater. It was not designed for the water, but then we want to make it into a boat. The van it was not designed for that. So marriage was not designed for your selfish reasons. It was designed, it's God's design. So then you have to follow the design and the blueprint, and it's gonna work as it should, rather than you trying to instill what you want and make it do what you want instead.
Well, I'd just like to add in short, that I do agree with what he said, and that being God, you have a plan for building. The person you wouldn't just take maybe the person that's doing carpentry to read the plan for the building. You would need the person that's the how you call them, the foreman to read the plan, somebody with the skills to read the plan and stuff. And the same way to God designed, he that put everything together, he put it as it should be. And then if we don't follow like what is laid out, and you've been in contact with God, you would want to follow what is laid out. But sometimes not everybody, you must believe in what is laid out, or to follow what is laid out, but not everyone believes in what is laid out. So, and also I'd just like to say that if you don't start something well, you have to start well. Most times for it to end well, if you don't start something well, you cannot expect it to end with the best results. So yeah.
You guys came prepared for me today. I was hoping to just throw this one at the bombshell, and you handled it very well, in my opinion. So viewers, let us know what you think about today's marriage in today's time. Why should I say I do? Are these reasons valid reasons to say I do? What about marriage of convenience? What about what God says? Is that still important? Is that still applicable to today's time that we're living in? Why should I say I do? Any last comments from you guys?
I'm just going to follow God, like you saying, like it maybe God, he was back then, he is right now, and he'll be the same God. So then what he said will still stand. So whoever believes in him and would want to follow, then what he said will stand, and you should pattern it. Being children of God, you should pattern it and what he says, and follow that manuscript, that way of life, or whatever that he's laid out for us, because he knows best.
Okay, just one example of how all people with their own motives and selfish motives would even prevent someone from saying I do. Because just today, I tell you, we were even having that conversation, and one of the guys would like, there was this famous basketball star or whatever, and he was to be married. He was engaged to this woman, and then he said, well, before we get married, I want you to sign a prenup, so that you're not getting a half if in case this doesn't work out. So, but the girl say, okay, she will sign it. Then it came to closer to the day. He said, why haven't you signed it? She said, don't worry, I will sign it. The day of the marriage came, and she hadn't signed the prenuptial agreement. And then the guy said he's not marrying her. He decided against marrying her, because he spotted this motive, and he himself has his motive too, because he not completely giving in. He's not committing 100%, because he doesn't think Well, yeah, so they have their own selfish motives in mind all the while they're entering into a union made by God. So I just hope that even the viewers that are listening, that they take this into consideration, that you don't go with your own motives, but you go with God in mind.
Alrighty, I know I said this with the closing words, but something really came to mind. What are the dangers of saying I do for the wrong reasons? And I know you listed some of them in a not so obvious way, but I want you to put it in some obvious ways. What are some of the dangers or the consequences of saying I do for the wrong reasons?
Well, the first one would be that the marriage is supposed to last forever by God's standards. It's yeah, but the first danger would be that it wouldn't last. It wouldn't last. Sometimes a couple of years, a few years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. It's done and over with. So like that's one of the main reasons it wouldn't. Plus, you would have unfaithfulness, people, because you're not in it for the right reasons. You're in it for your own selfish reasons. So you wouldn't treat the person like, let's say, somebody you really love, and you wouldn't do unto them what you would, yeah, and vice versa. So then you would have unfaithfulness and dishonesty, lying. There would be a long list.
And that marriage would definitely not be a blessed marriage, and because it was never ordained to be, you know. So if there is no, it wasn't ever meant to be that way, and there is no God in the mix, there is no divine intervention. There is no blessing, there is no God.
Well, lovely. I am really grateful you guys came on tonight and you answered the questions really thoroughly. Viewers, what do you think? I know some people are going to have different opinions, different views on it, but I think they've really handled these questions excellently. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. Why should I say I do? And even more, tell me, or why should I not say I do? I would love to hear from you. Please comment in the section below. Thank you for watching. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. You had some good stuff here. Share the link, and I'll be so happy if you do subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye.